The NHS is set to ban all homeopathic treatments for patients because it's not evidence-based and any benefits are down to placebo. Do you agree that homeopathic treatments are a waste of scarce NHS funds which could be better devoted to treatments that actually work? Other treatments set to be banned include herbal treatments, lidocaine plasters, omega-3 fatty acids and the unlicensed use of the painkiller coproximol. Well, why not go the whole hog and just say that homeopathy is just a complete and utter waste of time and money, and that people who use it should be using something else, like the NHS medical treatments?
£52,000 in prescriptions out of 11 billion a year in the NHS, or 4 to 5 million for the whole service out of 100 billion. So this really isn't about economics. And if you're going to talk about money with healthcare, you have to be quite blunt and you have to talk about value for money, not just the actual figures. And you've got to remember that the patients who go through the NHS and are being prescribed these medicines by doctors, all of them have already tried conventional medicine, all of them, because I know the doctors personally who treat these patients, and that's what they tell me. So these are patients for whom either conventional medicine just hasn't worked, or they can't be given conventional medicine because it's contraindicated, because it's too dangerous because of some other health problem they've got or some other drug that they're using.
I mean,
so
I get...
bear in mind that what are these patients going to be treated with if they can't have the homeopathy? And don't we think that actually this small amount of money, if those patients are reporting a benefit, it's money very well spent.
Well, if there was any scientific evidence that it was a benefit, I'd agree with you, but there isn't, is there?
That's a myth that's reported far and wide. And I know it's hard for listeners to take my word for it because they've been bombarded with information saying homeopathy doesn't work. But for people who really want to look at this for themselves and make their own mind up, I would say go to our website, the Homeopathy Research Institute website. We have FAQs that address all of these arguments. It's placebo or it's coincidence, like your previous caller said. And when you look at the evidence, that just doesn't pan out. Just a really simple study. Your caller mentioned talking about thousands of patients rather than one or two, and a study that looked at 6,500 patients going through the Bristol Homeopathic Hospital found that 70% of them reported improved health. Now, that doesn't sound like coincidence. That sounds like medicine working for those people who want it. And it's not being forced on anyone who doesn't want to use it, but it should be available for those who want to choose it.
Someone's just texted me this. Since homeopathy is based on infinite dilution and water that's recycled, we're all treated for everything for free. He's right, though. Homeopathy is based on dilution, infinite dilution and water.
Like giving you part of the story, isn't it? So when you make a homeopathic medicine, you don't just dilute it. Otherwise, there'd be nothing there. We're not that stupid.
But it is based around dilution, isn't it?
It involves dilution, but it's a two-step process. So you dilute and then you succuss. This is a vigorous shaking. And any manufacturer of these medicines will tell you that you have to shake it between each dilution. And the physicists who are exploring how these medicines work know that that succussion is completely necessary to produce an active sample. And you might say, how do we know they're active? And we know they're active because they're tested on laboratory experiments with isolated plants or isolated blood cells or tadpoles. We have all sorts of plant and animal models. You can read these experiments on our website. So I'd like anyone to explain to me how a homeopathic medicine changing the growth rate in a plant or changing the growth rate of a tadpole is placebo. And we have studies showing that.
Can homeopathy cure cancer?
No. Any more questions?
Well, no, I just ask you because people who phoned in before on this have claimed that it can.
Okay, so I just want to put this again into perspective. So we just held a conference in Malta with Professor Michael Frass from Vienna, who works in oncology. He was talking about his clinic. Now there, homeopathy is used alongside conventional medicine, and the biggest improvements he sees after many years working with cancer patients using homeopathy is that it gets better quality of life, their health improves, they perform better during their chemo, they survive their radiation better. This is all about complementary care. So it's only people who want to damage the reputation of homeopathy.
No, it's about desperation, isn't it? Because let's face it, if any of us had an illness which we thought that traditional methods wouldn't cure, we go in search of everything that we think that maybe could do it.
Of course, people will always search for solutions to their health. I think everybody's been there. You just want to get better. But like I said, reputable homeopaths, medicines are being prescribed carefully and ethically alongside conventional care. That's normal homeopathy.
OK, Rachel, thank you. That's Rachel Roberts from the Homeopathy Research Institute. Should natural treatments be available on the NHS? What are the benefits of homeopathy, and should it be separated from other natural remedies? Can natural remedies work alongside conventional medicine? Has that worked for you, or do you think it's all a load of quackery?